Right, can an executor sell a home in probate? Complicated question, really depends. And again, a lot of times you want to be able to sell it because you've got multiple beneficiaries, multiple heirs who are going to inherit the piece of property. And so now you've got three siblings, two of them want to sell it, one of them doesn't, or one of them wants to use one realtor, the other two doesn't, or they can't agree on the price, whatever it is. And so the best option might be to try and sell the property. In Florida, at least, it really depends on if the property is what's called homestead or non-homestead. So in Florida, we have this thing called homestead, which basically says it's your primary residence. You get a tax exemption on it. Most creditors can't put a lien on the property to get repaid for it. And so that's a person's homestead. If you're going through probate and it is a person's homestead, then you're not going to be able to, most likely not going to be able to sell the property within probate, because what's going to happen is you're going to file a petition to determine homestead, and when the judge signs that, that's basically the new deed, and that's going to say who the new owners are. And at that point, once that's signed, the property is no longer in probate, and the sale would have to take place just like any other piece of property. So you'll file this document, petition to determine homestead, which you have to do. You're going to have to file that. And the judge is going to say, okay, great, these are the three owners. He or she will sign that order saying that the property's homestead, and now the property can't be sold within the probate. And so now the realtor or whoever's working with it, with the new owners, they're going to have to work to sell the property, and hopefully everybody agrees. If they don't, that's where it becomes a little bit more complicated, and you might have to file what's called a partition action, which is extremely complicated, takes a lot of time, takes a lot of money. If it isn't a homestead property, you will be able to sell it within probate. So a lot of times in Florida here, we'll have people from other cities, other countries, other states that have investment properties. It's not their primary residence. Maybe they just rent it out, or maybe they just come here for the winter or whatever. That property can be sold within probate. So what we would do is we'd get a contract. We'd present that contract to the judge. He or she would review it, approve the sale. The property would be sold. The money from that sale would be held in a restricted account. And then once the probate is over, then we can distribute that money to whoever the beneficiaries are. So a lot of times that's more favorable because, again, you don't have a piece of property that's now owned by a bunch of people who don't get along and can't agree on what to do with the property, who's going to pay it, pay the taxes, pay the mortgage if there's a mortgage, pay the association, the upkeep, and all of that. But if it is homestead, you're probably not going to be able to sell it within probate. But if it's a non-homestead asset, if it's a second home or investment home or just not the person's primary residence, then we're probably going to be able to sell it within probate.